6 months to get ready for TOEFL and IELTS. Hello and welcome back to another video with Tai the Test Queen. In my previous video, I mentioned why you might not be ready for TOEFL or IELTS yet. If you're still sore about that, I'm sorry. If you're still unhappy about it, I'm sorry. But if you are here again to learn more, welcome. If this is your first time, welcome to my channel. I'm a drag queen based in Taiwan. I'm from South Africa, born in South Africa, made in Taiwan, and I'm a TOEFL and IELTS teacher. I also teach other kinds of English, but I focus mainly on TOEFL and IELTS, and this series is to help you. If you watched my previous video, you will know that I talked about reasons why you might not be ready yet. So if you're here, if you're back, welcome. And today we're going to look at tips for you to improve your academic English for TOEFL and IELTS, your English proficiency, so you are ready for these tests. The video today, I will focus on 6 months to get ready for TOEFL and IELTS. So how do you get ready without talking too much? If this is your first time, please subscribe. If you are here again but you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Share this video with all your friends, and if anyone is doing TOEFL and test, recommend them to my channel. You can find a lot of TOEFL and IELTS videos on YouTube, but none so beautiful. Anyway, let's go. First tip number one is familiarize yourself with the test. Both TOEFL and IELTS are English proficiency tests that are required by certain universities for admission, and you need to know the format. They both consist of reading, writing, listening, and speaking. 4 sections on each. They're different. If you're not sure which one or how they're different, go back to my first video on this channel and watch that, which one is best for you, TOEFL or IELTS. But that's not why we're here today. We're here today because you have only 6 months to prepare. Familiarize yourself with the test. How do you do that? You buy the book. If you want, you can look online, you can go to classes, you can get tutors, but you don't want to walk in there blindly and think, okay, my English is good, I can do this. No, probably you can't. Like, I don't know anyone who can do that, native speakers included, unless you're someone who is very familiar with the test. You don't want to be caught off guard when you walk in there and like, what is this kind of question? Never seen this in my life. What am I doing here? Help me, help me, help me. One little thing like that can completely throw you off track. 2, practice, study. Practice and study. Make sure you allocate enough time for yourself to prepare and to get ready for these tests. Practice online, practice in class, practice with friends, but practice as much as you can, and you will soon see you'll be able to identify the areas you're not that strong in. For example, you can see, oh, I do really well in writing, but I suck at reading. What can I do? Then you change your schedule. You allocate more time for reading and less time for writing. Continue to change it according to your needs. Don't focus too much on writing. Don't forget about it. Still practice it, just not as much. Focus on the areas that you need. So just practice. You have 6 months now. Tip number 3, let's start with the listening section. The listening section is something I feel a lot of people overlook. Listening section will test your ability to listen to speakers in various contexts. So for example, you might need to listen to people in class, you might need to listen to professors, lecturers, you might need to listen to news, podcasts, radio, television, media. You will be required to listen to a lot of things. For TOEFL, it will be more academic, but for IELTS, you might be required to listen to people from various different categories. So make sure that you are able to listen to people, but not just listen and understand. You need to be able to listen and get the main idea of what they're saying. You need to listen to tone of voice, what the people are saying, what they mean, what they really want to say, what they don't say, and what they want the listener to understand. There will often be things when we speak, we will say something, but we mean something else. You would need to listen to those things as well. You need to listen to every single thing, the main idea. Also, now is a good time to perfect your note-taking skills. If you want to do either of these tests, notes are very important. I cannot see myself doing a TOEFL test without notes, doing an IELTS test without notes, especially the listening sections. They contain a lot of information, right? And while you think, okay, I can listen, I can focus, no one is that good. And that might be the day that you slip up, you lose concentration, and you don't know what's going on. Once you lose concentration, there's no getting back to that unless you're taking notes. Practice taking notes, perfect your note-taking skills, and develop a routine or a system that works for you. Develop words. You have 6 months to prepare and practice and to get ready so you are test ready by the time that you want to do the test. Next up is the reading section. I hear a lot of complaints about the IELTS reading section for some reason, not the TOEFL reading section as much, but the IELTS reading section, both reading sections, they will test your ability to read the words on the screen or on paper and understand what they mean. You need to get the main idea. You need to be sure to get the details. You need to be sure to get the author's purpose, like what the author is trying to convey in the words on the screen or on paper. You need to understand more. So how do you do this? You read more. you read more, you practice more reading, you do reading tests online, you buy reading books, or you read with friends. But not just that, you have 6 months, you're gonna have some free time, so use your free time to read more English novels, read English books that are of interest to you, read things that you enjoy. While you're doing something and taking a break, you're actually learning as well. You will learn new words, you will learn many different things. The same goes for listening as well, right? Listen to podcasts, listen to music, listen to people talking, watch more TV shows, watch more movies. And for reading, read more books, read magazines, read articles, go on news websites, things that interest you, read more about them. Let's go to writing. How do you prepare for writing in 6 months? I suggest we just talked about listening and reading, and I did that on purpose because reading and listening, you will listen to someone say something, you will read something about something, and then you have to make sure you get the main idea, the details, all those things, right? So what do? For writing, I suggest you take notes, obviously, and then after the notes, you sit down and you write a short paragraph, longer if you have more time, but just a paragraph about what you've just read or heard. You take notes while you're reading or listening, and then you start writing. You say, okay, I just read this, blah, 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 blah. I always say, I just read this, I just heard this. The speaker was referring to this phenomenon where these things happen and how it influences humanity or society, how it influences our lives. Then you write a small paragraph, make sure you get the thesis statement, the main idea, and the details, and write them all down. And then afterwards you can go back and see, did I write everything? Did I do everything? Good practice is to practice tests online, recent tests, and ChatGPT. You can write your essays and then put it into ChatGPT or any other AI program that you prefer and ask it to give you a score. Give you a score to show you areas that you might need improvement on. It's also a valuable tool, and it's definitely the future. Like I can't believe I've never heard of this until a few weeks ago, and now I'm so involved with this, and it's very useful. It's very helpful. You can do so much with this. So use it. It is to your advantage. Use it, practice your writing. You can also ask teachers to evaluate it for you. You can ask your friends. You can join groups on Facebook. Ask people to grade yours. Well, you grade them or give them ideas or talk about it. Don't just expect to take. You've got to give something as well. Another thing that's very important, and I've made a video about this in the past, is to make sure you organize your ideas and your structure effectively and efficiently. Make sure you are able to write a clear structure. You know what you want, you know where you're going. You can do that for every single essay that you write. Organize your ideas, have a clear structure, and take notes. Take notes on the paper. Also, when you take notes, the little side tip, take notes in English. You don't have time to take notes in Chinese because you're going to listen to something or read something, then you're going to have to translate it in your head, then you're going to have to write it down in Chinese, then you're going to go and start writing, then you are going to have to translate it again. Do not do that. Write it down in English the first time, because this is an English proficiency test. Proficiency is the key word, along with 6 months. You have 6 months. Write. If you want, keep a journal by the side of your bed before you go to bed every night. Write something about your day, write something online. Just write more, practice more. Practice strategies and organization that works for you. Look at others, find things that they do, copy theirs, see if it works for you, and eventually you will get this formula that is tailor-made just for you, that you've made for yourself. Like this dress is tailor-made for me, bespoke with H&M. Tip number five is subscribe. Honestly, that is a good tip. I'm going to leave it in there. Tip number 5, subscribe to me. Watch all my videos. I'm helping you. These videos are valuable. Smart. That was not clickbait. It's honestly a tip. Subscribe and watch more videos. If you have any questions, you can send me an email. My email is on YouTube. One of my subscribers a few weeks ago asked me if I can make a video about the IELTS speaking part 2 notes and answers, and I did it. Tip number 6, speaking. How do you improve your speaking? You improve your speaking by, wait for it, speaking. Practice more. Practice with your friends who can speak English. Practice with people online if you don't have friends whose English level is as high as yours, or if you can't find anyone who can speak English as well as you can or as badly as you can. You have 6 months, so don't worry about it. Find someone you can speak to. Speak to your family, speak to your friends, speak to your boyfriend, your girlfriend. Even though it might be awkward at first to speak a second language to another person whose first language is the same as yours, it's going to be awkward in the beginning, but you're going to get used to it pretty fast. And it'll be so easy. You're going to be able to express yourself, you're going to be able to practice more, and find a tutor online. Go to classes, and when you go to a speaking class, do not sit there and take notes the whole time. Speak more. The students I have in my speaking classes, the ones that really do well, are the ones who never shut up. But I don't care. I love it. I encourage them to speak more and more and more. I want them to speak more. So speak more and tell these people things like watch a video and then describe it to them. Listen to a podcast or listen to someone at TED Talks, for example, and describe it to them. Read an article, read a news report about something and describe it to them. It will help you to organize your ideas, and you will be able to identify main points and details very early on, and then you can just continue from there and you'll be able to express yourself in a nutshell. Do the 1-minute test where you have to speak for a minute. That's very good. It's very helpful. It's going to force you to think more. It's going to force you to add more details. It's going to force you to just think about the way you speak. Eventually you can go up to 2 minutes, especially if you're doing IELTS and you're worried about part 2 in the speaking section. So then you can make it 2 minutes, but start with 1 minute and just practice. Practice, speak more, speak to yourself. This is a tip I give all my students. For example, I give them the same tip. Let's say you're making dinner for yourself. Tell yourself while you're speaking, I'm busy making dinner. I'm chopping the onions. I'm deboning the chicken. I don't know where these things come from. I'm deboning the chicken. I'm skinning tomatoes. I'm peeling bananas. Describe these things for yourself. And then once you've done that, say, okay, the dinner is cooking now. It was made by me. Little passive tense. And then say, the dinner is finished. I'm going to eat dinner now. Future tense, then you eat your dinner. You're like, oh, I'm eating my dinner. Like between bites, swallow, and then say, I'm eating dinner right now. Afterwards, you can say, oh, I have just had dinner. I made this, and this. It was delicious. Maybe next time I will try doing this. So describe your dinner. Describe your dinner process. If you don't cook dinner, describe buying dinner. Speak to yourself. You're gonna think it's silly, but it's very helpful. And also record yourself. Record yourself is vital. You can play it back and you can listen to things that you say a lot. For example, I'm not sure. Those things, eliminate them. I've said this in a previous video, but I'll say it again. If you say or a lot, say it in your head and then speak. Don't say it with your mouth. When you practice TOEFL and IELTS in these 6 months, I'm doing the 6. Dan, this is for you. 6. This is something I learned in Taiwan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is 10? 10. Yes, 10. I cannot say 6 anymore without doing this. I'm like, oh, 6. I don't do 5. I don't do 4. Only 6. Those are 6 tips. The 6 tips. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. Like and subscribe, like I've said before. And I will see you next time. Little heart, little friends. Mwah, 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 mwah.